Gammon pineapple stir fry. Some of you may already have seen my gammon and pineapple, which was oven baked. I'll leave a link for that in the description, and also there'll be a card up here somewhere. Right, ingredients. I'm going to use these gammon steaks, and that's 450 grams, 2 gammon steaks, which I'm going to chop up into pieces. And the pineapple element comes from these fresh pineapple chunks, which are really nice and juicy, good quality. I'll probably just cut some of those into smaller pieces. You're going to need a little bit of ketchup just to give the sauce some colour. You'll need some vinegar, you'll need some sugar. I'm using a little bit of lemon. I'll just use a little squeeze of lemon to pimp it all up. I've got 2 spring onions, which I'm going to use for garnish. And I've got half a brown onion, which I've chopped up into pieces, which are all going to be roughly the same sizes as the pineapple, the meat, and the orange and red peppers, which I've got here, all chopped up as well. So it's going to be a nice colourful dish. So the first thing I need to do really is get this gammon steak chopped up. Okay, one ingredient I neglected to mention was this little bird eye pepper, which is rather hot, but I'm just going to use that to pimp up the flavour of the dish. It's entirely optional. If you don't like hot pepper, leave it out altogether, or use a milder pepper. It's up to you, but I'm just putting it in because I like it. The gammon steak I've cut into about 1-inch pieces, as you see here, so they're all going to cook round about the same time. Okay, the pineapple I've just cut up into smaller chunks like that, and I think we're ready to start cooking. Okay, now the pineapple's cut up, I'm just going to take a sliver off this lemon. I'll just cut it down the side there, so I've got a nice sliver just to draw some liquid from. And into this bowl I'm going to make up my vinegar solution. So I'm going to fill half of it, it's just a cup size. I'm going to fill half of it with vinegar. Top that up with a bit of water. Just going to get a taste of that. You don't want it too strong in vinegar, you see. So that's my vinegar and water. I've got my ketchup there. It's I would say a couple of teaspoons of ketchup. You're not going to need more because it's really just for colouring, that is. And I've got my sugar standing by. Okay, one other ingredient I'll need is some cornstarch, cornflour. I'm going to use a very heaped teaspoon of cornflour. I may need more, but I don't think I will. So I'll just use a little bit of the vinegar and water to mix that up. And then you can stir in the ketchup. Stir that in, and then the whole can go into there to make up the sauce. Now that will create the sauce completely, and it'll start to thicken it as well. So the only other thing I'm going to need is a little bit of extra water on standby in case the sauce gets too thick. So I'll just keep that on standby, and then everything else is set up and ready to go. Okay, so in a large skillet or wok, if you've got one, you want to get it hot. I mean quite hot. And then in goes your oil. You want a couple of tablespoons of oil. And then straight into that you want to get your meat. So in goes the meat, and we bring that up to a sharp sizzle. I should have got that fat a little bit hotter, should have been a better strike heat than that. But never mind, we'll crack on. So as the meat starts to cook, it might start shipping some liquid. And we want to get past this stage, so we want to let that cook out and keep stirring it, moving it around until all that bubbling stops, until all the liquid's gone, and then it starts to fry again. Because I'm afraid that liquid is a natural, or rather an unnatural process of the way that this product is made. And I think they allow too much liquid to get into the process, so you end up buying liquid instead of ham, instead of gammon. So keep moving it around, and then pretty soon all that extra liquid will have evaporated and we'll get back to the frying stage. When I bake gammon in the oven, that liquid comes off and drops into the vegetables below and helps to flavour that. And the other thing you didn't see me use in this recipe was soy sauce, even though it's a stir fry, and that's because soy sauce is inherently salty, and this gammon really carries enough salt to season the whole dish. So we'll let that carry on cooking for a bit until it starts to fry again. Alright, it's taken a while, but I've kept stirring it and kept moving it, and you'll see now from the fond on the bottom of the pan that it's actually starting to fry again. So into that I want to go in with my peppers and my onions. And we'll get that frying. It all goes fairly quick from here, by the way. Oh, that really starts to smell good already, just before the pineapple even goes in. And also, because it's me, I'm going to put in my hot chili pepper. And that is a quite hot one, that one. But I'm only using one because I like the taste of it, and I don't really particularly want too much heat on this because it's sweet and sour. Right, now we've got to this stage, and it's a stage where the onion is starting to break up, it's starting to come apart. So I threw it in there in pretty much in chunks, but it's now starting to come apart. So at this stage in goes the pineapple, and they're all cut to a fairly even size. Alright, after you've stirred it for about a minute, I'm going to go in with my vinegar mixture, which has a thickener in it, don't forget. So then we allow that to come back up to the boil and just watch it thicken. So we've effectively turned it into a sweet and sour pineapple sauce. Now that's thickening up quite quickly, so I'm going to add in some extra water just to thin it down a little bit. And as that comes up to the boil, it will continue to thicken. Looks good, doesn't it? Looks very attractive. Right. I'm going to go in now and give it a taste. Right, now I know, time to add in the sugar. So I'm going to add in, well, first, 2 heaped teaspoons of sugar. And then we'll give it a stir in. A little bit more water because it's starting to thicken up. And the golden rule is you don't measure the water, you just put in enough water until it looks right. You know, do it instinctively. Don't just stick to a recipe. Use your judgment. And you might think, oh, I'll get it wrong, but you won't. You won't, because your judgment is your taste. How you like things. And let's go in there again, get another taste. Ooh, that is quite strong. So I'm going in, putting in some more sugar, another couple of teaspoons, heaped teaspoons, there we go. I think that should be enough. We'll get that stirred in. A little more water. I'm having this fairly thin because we're serving it with some rice. I'm just going to serve it with some plain steamed rice. And when I do sweet and sour, or anything sweet and sour, I like to serve it more with plain rice than I do with things like fried rice or pilau rice. And the reason for that is the plainness of the rice acts as a contrast to the depth of flavour of the sweet and sour. And the same with very savoury dishes like beef in black bean sauce. I prefer to serve that with just plain white rice. In fact, outside of the Americas and Western Europe, in most of Asia, white rice is served instead of anything else. It's the fried rice and other things are generally only served for breakfast. But then you go into the Indian subcontinent and they have their pilau rice. That is pretty close on the money. I'm now just going to give it a squeeze of lemon. Just a little squeeze. Because, I don't know, lemon has a way of brightening things up, doesn't it? It really just lifts things into another dimension, really. And it adds that nice sweet lemony perfume and a little bit of acidity. Let's have a taste of that now. I think that's going to be pretty much on the money. New spoon every time. Oh, that is lovely. That was really nice. Okay, I think we're ready to go with that. So the very last thing I'm going to do with that is I'm going to put on half of my spring onions and just stir them in. Some chopped spring onions there. Stir them in and then just put use the other half of spring onions just to garnish them when they're plated up. And there you have it, boys and girls. Okay, let's just get a bit of this loaded up. And a little garnish, spring onion, and there you have it, one beautiful plate of gammon and pineapple with a buttered plain rice.
Hey friends, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. If you would like to follow my channel, please subscribe. And don't forget to click the bell icon and select all to receive notifications for all my future videos. It would be great to hear from you in the comments, and I'll try to get back to as many of you as possible. You may wish to check out these titles or even help me out with a donation using the links in the description below the video. Thanks for watching.